Feeling the arms. Over the body, reaching towards the back. Hello, beautiful people. We're back with another Vinyasa flow. I'm feeling a bit of a slower flow. I'm thinking we might break down each pose and kind of go through form and where you might feel those movements. If that feels good to you, let's roll out our mats and let's get moving. We're gonna start by finding a mountain pose, stacking ankles, under knees, under hips. We'll pick up the toes, spread them out wide, and set them back down. A single roll back and down through the shoulders, opening through the front of the chest. Gently pulling the chin in, so we're stacking ears over shoulders and pulling the head back slightly. We'll take a few deep breaths here. Stepping the feet a little bit further apart, we're gonna move into our happy elephants. We're gonna lift the back heel as we turn, letting the arms fly free, swaying side to side, waking up the shoulders, the hips, the spine. Bringing the arms back through center, letting them run out of momentum. We'll step the feet back in towards our mountain pose with a nice big inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling, pressing down through the toes. With our next exhale, we'll swan dive the arms, taking them out and softening them all the way forward for our forward fold. Nodding the head yes, shaking the head no. Releasing out the upper body, allowing ourselves to hang here. Grabbing for opposite elbows. We'll find a little sway to the body, dropping the chin to the chest first. So we're curling in and then swaying. Releasing the hands down, we'll take them to the shins with our inhale, finding a nice half high. So to do so, we're engaging through the core, pulling the ribs and the hips a little bit closer. Finding a nice flat back, taking the eyes a little ways out in front. And with our exhale, folding forward again. Inhale, reverse swan diving the arms, dropping them down, taking them out, lifting us back up to the ceiling, and bringing hands to heart center. Beautiful, wiggling out through the body. We'll make our way up to the top of the mat. With a nice big inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan, diving the arms back up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. We're gonna grab all or interlock all fingers but the pointers, sending those up tall to the ceiling. Bringing the feet in till they touch. With our exhale, we'll shift the hips one way, fingertips go the other. Coming in through center. Other direction, shifting the hips one way, fingertips go the other. Coming back through center, lifting the chest up tall, and then maybe finding a micro back bend. Bring the hands above the head again. Exhale, releasing them out. With a nice big inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Exhale, hinging at the waist, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold, dropping the hands down in front. We'll step the feet back to our plank pose. Spreading the fingertips out nice and wide here. Pressing down through the ends of the fingers. We're going to gently shift the shoulders forward past the wrists, hugging the elbows in towards the ribcage. And with our exhale, chaturanga to lower. Flipping the feet, squeezing the glutes. Inhale to our cobra. Gently pulling the shoulders away from the ear, reaching tall through the crown of the head. Exhale, softening back towards the mat, tucking the toes under, pressing up and back to our down dog. And we'll pedal out the legs, wiggle out the hips. Putting as much bend here as you need. With our first down dog of the day, be nice to yourself. We can still send the hips up and back, but the legs aren't really causing us to stop here anymore. We'll extend the left leg back behind us, pointing with the toes. And then reaching that left foot up towards the hands, finding our lunge here. We'll take a full breath in, even larger breath back out. Dropping the right knee down, releasing the toes. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Shifting the hips forward slightly. And we can either find a cactus to the arms, lifting the chest up, or we can find a little bit of a back bend here. With our exhale, our right hand will plant beside the left foot, reaching the left arm up to the ceiling. A little bit of a dynamic movement here. With our inhale, we're gonna lift the right arm up off the mat, staying twisted over to the left side. With our next exhale, the left hand will drop back towards the leg. Right arm reaches up past the ear, either up to the ceiling or a little bit behind us. Cartwheeling the arms, setting them down, framing out that front foot. We'll tuck the back toes under, pressing back to our high lunge, and stepping the feet forward. Inhale, half high, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale to the ceiling. Again, interlocking all fingers but the pointer, sending them up tall to the ceiling. Hips go one way, fingertips the other. Back through center. Other side. Back through center. Again, lifting the chest or finding our little back bend. Taking the arms back up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold, planting the hands down on the mat, stepping or hopping our way back to our plank pose. Shifting forward slightly, elbows come in. Exhale, chaturanga lower. Flipping the feet. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to soften. Tucking the toes, pressing up and back, down dog. Wiggling out some more. The right leg reaches back behind us. And we'll step it up to the hands. full breath in here. Even larger breath back out. Dropping the left knee down. Inhale, reaching tall. Option to lift the chest or find a baby back bend. Coming back through center. Our left hand will plant beside the right foot, right arm reaching out to the ceiling. And for our dynamic movement again, lifting the left arm up off the mat, staying twisted towards our right side. Cartwheeling the arms, framing out our right foot again. Tucking the back toes under and stepping the left foot in. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale to the ceiling. Interlocking all fingers but the pointer, sending them tall. Dipping the hips one way, fingertips the other. Back through center, other side. Back to center again, lifting the chest. Taking the arms back up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold, planting the hands down. We'll hop or step the feet back to our plank. Spreading those fingertips out nice and wide. Shifting forward slightly. This can also be done on the knees if you'd prefer. Exhale, chaturanga, lower. Flipping the feet, squeezing the glutes. Inhale to baby cobra. Exhale, soften. Tucking the toes up and back, down dog. And we'll pedal out the feet some more. Walking the hands one step closer in towards the feet. Sending the hips up and back behind us, pressing down through the heels. You can still keep a bend to the knees here if you'd like, or press the heels down. We'll put a bend in the knees, dropping them all the way down to the mat, finding our tabletop pose. So we'll take knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. If your wrists bother you, you can take the wrists a little bit further out in front, send the tailbone a little bit back behind us to counterbalance. And that takes quite a bit of weight out of the hands. We're going to start with a little bit of shoulder push-ups. With our exhale, we'll drop the chest down, taking the shoulders up and back behind us. With our inhale, pressing the shoulder blades up to the sky. Exhale, softening the chest down. Inhale, pressing up and back. Moving a few times back and forth with the breath. Coming back to our tabletop, we're going to find kind of that same movement with the shoulders with our cat-cow. With our exhale, lowering the stomach, dropping the chest down, taking the eyes up and the tailbone up, finding our cow pose. With our next exhale, pressing the hands and ground away from each other, shoulders lift tall to the ceiling. We'll curl the tailbone and chin in towards center. Exhale back to our cow and to our cat. Moving back and forth with the breath. Some people like to exhale as they curl in. Some like to exhale as they reach tall with the head and the tailbone. It doesn't really matter to me which way you do it, but moving with an inhale and moving again with an exhale. Good, back to our tabletop. We're gonna walk the hands in so we sit on the heels. If your knees are talking to you in this pose, we can either tuck the toes under, giving us a little bit more space, or we can put a pillow or a blanket behind the knees. But we're only gonna sit here for a moment, stretching out the front of the legs like this. And taking the hands back out in front, finding our tabletop again. This can be done here with the wrists under the shoulders, or we can walk them out a little bit further so we have a little more engagement all the way down the tailbone, but it is up to you. We're gonna find some spinal waves. So with our exhale, dropping the tailbone down, shifting forward slightly. Inhale, pulling the body back, rounding the tailbone, rounding up through the spine and the top of the head. Reversing top of the head, first shifting forward, rolling the spine, back in the tailbone. Reverse tailbone first, rolling up the body, and back and forth. Our waves might not be perfect. We might have an area that doesn't want to move. Just starting to notice how the spine moves back and forth. Always trying to start with either the head or the tailbone. And back to our tabletop. We'll take the knees to the outer edges of our mat, bringing the big toes in until they touch. Left hand moves towards center with our inhale, taking the right arm up to the ceiling. And exhale, threads that right arm between the left arm and left leg. Our shoulder comes down first and then the side of the face. We have an option to keep the left hand down on the mat here, either pushing down into the mat, helping us give it a little more rotation to the shoulders, or it can rest here and we can stretch across the back of the shoulders. We can also take that left arm, twisting it around the body to the small of the back and opening further through the chest. We'll bring that left arm back around, planting it down, unthreading the right, sending it back tall, and releasing it to the mat. Inhale, left arm reaches up. We'll thread it through the right side of the body, shoulder down first, and then side of face. We have the same options for hand placement as before. We can rest and stretch the back of the shoulders. We can press down through the hand, opening the chest, or wrapping it all the way around to the small of the back. Bringing the right hand back around, pressing down, unthreading the left arm back to the ceiling, and bringing it down, sending the tailbone back towards the heels. We'll soften the chest out in front of us, finding a wide-legged child's pose, dropping the chin towards the chest, forehead towards the mat. We'll shift our weight forward towards the hands, bringing the knees back under the hip bones. Taking the hands one step further out in front, pressing down through the fingertips. So we should gently have a little bit of a lift through the middle knuckle of the hands here to really be pressing down through the hands. Tucking the toes under, sending the hips up and back behind us, down dog. Taking the left leg, reaching back behind us and stepping it up through the hands. Pressing down through the feet. With our inhale, we'll lift tall, warrior one. So for our alignment in our warrior one, our front toes are straight up the top of the mat. Back toes are behind us. The heel is lifted up off the mat. We are on train tracks, not a tightrope. So our feet are about hips distance apart. If you need to make your warrior one a little bit wider, that's fine too. We're just finding somewhere that we feel balanced, that we feel stable, that we feel in control, and we can press down and back through both feet. We can keep arms down here or take them up to the ceiling, but pressing down through the feet, softening through the hips. With our exhale, we'll soften the hands down, framing out our front foot. Inhale, stepping the back foot up. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale to the ceiling. Interlocking all fingers but the pointer, sending them up nice and tall. Hips go one way, fingertips the other. Back through center. And the other side. Back through center again. Baby back bend or lifting the chest. And back through center. Exhale, swan dive the arms, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold, planting the hands down, stepping or hopping the feet back. Pressing down through the fingertips, fingers out wide. Shifting forward slightly. Exhale, chaturanga lower. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to soften. Tucking the toes, pressing up and back, down dog. Our right leg reaches back behind us. And we step it towards the hands. Pressing down through the feet. Finding our train tracks again. About hips distance apart with the feet. Inhale, pressing down, warrior one. Feel free to make any micro adjustments until you find a spot that's comfortable for you. Oftentimes with beginners to yoga, they have their feet way too close together and then they don't know where their balance is or their center of gravity. So oftentimes taking the feet a little further apart than you naturally want to will help more with that balance. With our exhale, circling the arms down, framing out our front foot, we'll step the back foot up. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Again, taking the fingertips up towards the ceiling, interlocking all but the pointer. Hips one way, fingertips the other. Back through center. Other side. Back through center. Lifting the chest. Taking the arms back up, And swan diving them forward. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Planting the hands down, we'll step the feet back, finding our plank pose again. Shifting forward. Chaturanga to lower. Inhale to our baby cobra. Exhale to soften. Hips up and back, down dog. Taking the left leg back behind us. Stepping it up towards the hand. Pressing down through the feet. Inhale, warrior one. We're going to extend out with the front leg, finding a nice straight front. Dropping the back heel to the mat. So I like to turn my foot at a 45-degree angle away from the body because that's what works best for my hips. And then turning the hips towards the top of the mat again. That's why that 45-degree angle away is what feels most natural to me. With our exhale, we'll hinge at the waist, folding forward towards our leg. Your folding forward may look like this, and that's all right. This can be a pretty big stretch from the heel all the way up to the tailbone. Your forward fold may look like this, hugging the leg in, or taking the fingertips down to give us a little extra balance. If you have a block, that's also pretty nice for this pose to help with the balance. And we'll put the bend back into that left leg, shifting further forward. So most of our weight is in that front foot. Inhale, lifting tall to the ceiling, warrior one. Option to lift onto the tippy toes of both feet, or we can keep them down. With our next inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling, pivoting our feet, finding our warrior two. So our feet are now perpendicular. Our left foot is going off the top of our mat. Our right foot is going out the side of our mat. And again, we're not on a tightrope. My feet are a little bit further apart, or a little bit closer than hips distance apart. Taking the arms out to the top and back of our mat. All right, so what are our legs doing here? We've got that front foot out in front there. We're gently rolling the left knee out to the outside. So pressing down through the outside of our front foot to help keep us open up towards the side of our mat. Back foot pressing down through the heel and through the side of the foot. So both feet pressing to the outer edges out towards the pinkies. Kind of pulling ourselves in here and taking the arms out. Again, this is another one where it's often easier for balance if the feet are further apart. With our inhale, we'll take our front arm up to the ceiling, coming up and over the body, reaching towards the back of our mat. Exhale, curling up towards center. Our right arm reaches up and past our ear. So we're stretching all the way from the heel out through our fingertips. Cartwheeling the arms again, keeping the bend into our left knee as we reach back behind us. And as we come forward, we'll make our way back and forth some more, moving with the breath. Seeing how fluid of a motion we can make it. We're not wanting to stop. and start and stop. Trying to be graceful, flowing back and forth like a leaf in the breeze. And back to our neutral warrior 2. Again, we're gonna extend out through our front leg, sending the hips back behind us, reaching our left arm out in front, and bringing the left arm towards the leg, right arm reaches up, side angle. So focusing on stacking the shoulders, reaching tall with the fingers. Inhale, floating the body back up. We're gonna put the bend back into our left leg, cartwheeling the arms, stepping the right foot up. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Reaching tall to the ceiling, interlocking all fingers but the point, sending them nice and tall. Hips one way, fingertips the other. Back through center. Other side. Back through center, lifting the chest. Taking the arms back up, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold, planting the hands down, stepping the feet back. Plank pose, fingertips spread wide, pressing down. Shifting forward, chaturanga lower. Inhale to our cobra. Exhale, soften. Tucking the toes up and back, down dog. Our right leg reaches back behind us and steps up to the hands. Pressing down through the feet. Inhale, warrior 1. Extending out with the front leg. Dropping the heel down, that 45-degree angle away from the body again. Hips turn towards the top of the mat. With our exhale, hinging at the waist, folding forward. Putting the bend back into that right leg, shifting further forward. Most of our weight is in the front foot. Inhale, lifting back, warrior 1. Again, option to lift onto the tippy toes of both feet, or stay here and find a grounded warrior 1. Lifting, reaching tall, pivoting open, warrior 2. So our feet are nice and perpendicular again, bending in the right leg off towards the top of our mat. Back feet off to the side of our mat. We'll take the arms out, reaching the eyes up towards the right hand. And then adding our breath work in. Front palm lifts tall to the ceiling, coming up and over the body, reaching towards the back wall. Cartwheeling the arms, reaching up towards the top of the mat. Making our way back and forth some more with the breath. And back to our neutral warrior 2. Extending out with our front leg, sending our hips back behind us, reaching out through the top of the mat. Exhale, right arm comes to the leg, left arm reaches tall, stacking the shoulders. Again, your side angle may look like this, shoulders reaching tall. It may look like this, but focusing on reaching up through the left hand, stacking the shoulders over each other. And engaging through the core to hold us strong in this pose. With an inhale, floating the body back up. Putting the bend back into our right leg, cartwheeling the arms. Left foot steps up. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan, diagonal the arms, reaching tall, interlocking all fingers but the pointer. Hips one way, fingertips the other. Back through center, other side. Back through center. Lifting the chest. Taking the arms back up. Swan diving forward. Half high. Exhale, fold. Planting the hands down. This time, we're going to take the left leg back behind us and step it down. Inhale, warrior 1. Lifting strong and long through the front leg. We're going to pivot the whole body to the side of our mat. So, toes are going to come in towards center. Heels out towards the side. We have an internal rotation to the legs to begin with. With our next exhale, nice and tall through the spine, we're going to hinge at the waist, forward fold. Nodding the head, yes. Shaking the head, no. Releasing out the upper body. Allowing ourselves to hang here. If you'd like, you can turn the feet back to parallel or toes a little further away. Whatever feels best to your knees here. You can also walk the feet a little bit further apart if you'd like. And dropping the chin to the chest, softening forward. With our next inhale, finding our half high, taking the hands down in front of us. Nice long from the tailbone all the way out the crown of the head. We're going to shift our weight back and forth between the hands. So if your knees are talking to you in this pose, you can bring the legs in a little bit closer. You can put a micro bend to the knees or turn the toes away from the body. Any of these will help give a little extra space to the knees. Walking the hands one step further out in front of the body. We're going to shift our weight forward. So it's mainly in our hands. Our heels are trying to stay flat on the mat. With our exhale, sending the hips up and back behind. Continuing to press down through the heels. We'll shift our weight to back and forth between the hands and the feet. Feeling a stretch along the backs of the legs and the insides of the legs. And maybe as we press back through the heels, feeling a stretch from the fingertips to the tailbone. Bringing the hands back in towards the body, that one nice step. Tenting up on the left fingertips. With our inhale, we'll reach the right arm tall to the ceiling. Exhale, coming back through center. Dropping the right hand down. Big inhale takes the left arm up. And again, back down to center. We're going to walk the hands over to the left foot. Walking through center to the right foot. And back to center again. Heel toeing the feet in. All the way to our mountain pose. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching to the ceiling, interlocking all fingers, but the pointers, sending them tall. Hips go one way, fingertips the other. Back through center, other side. Back through center. Opening up through the chest, taking the eyes to the ceiling. Back up. And we'll bring the hands down. Wiggling out through the body. And we'll make our way up to the top of the mat. Big inhale reaches us tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Planting the hands down. We're going to take the right leg back behind us. Setting it down. Inhale, lifting to our warrior one. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down. Sending that left leg back. Finding our plank pose. Shifting forward. Elbows come in. Exhale, chaturanga lower. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to soften. So we're going to do that again. But this time, you might want to do an up dog. If your back is already tired from class today, go back to doing our down dog again. Keeping the toes pressing down through the top of the mat. But if you would like to try an up dog, we'll tuck the feet under. With our inhale, keeping the elbows in towards the body, pressing the arms up, softening the hips forward, taking the eyes out in front. Sending the hips up and back behind us, down dog. Walking the hands one step closer in towards the body. Pressing the hips up and back down through the heels. Bending through the knees, dropping them down to our mat, back to our tabletop. Inhale, taking the tailbone and the eyes to the ceiling, dropping the stomach. Exhale, curling through the body, arching back through the spine. Back and forth between our cat-cows some more. back to our tabletop. We're gonna wiggle out some more through the hips or through the spine. Whatever other spinal movements that you're craving here, go ahead and do so. So it might just be a wiggling out through the hips. It might be a barrel roll to the chest. You might be craving some figure eights, looping up towards the hands, sending back towards the heels. Whatever movement feels right here, go ahead and add it. Take a few moments to play around some more with the spine. Walking the hands in towards the body. We're gonna sit on our heels again. So same options as before, tucking the toes under or grabbing a pillow to sit on, stretching the fronts of the legs. We'll take the hands to one side of the mat. Dropping the hips down, circling the legs around. Bringing them out in front of the body. Wiggling out through the legs. Pointing the toes up to the ceiling. Sitting tall through the spine with an inhale, taking the arms up. We're going to take a few deep breaths here at the end of each exhale. Rechecking that posture, sitting up a little bit tall or reaching a little higher towards the ceiling. Good, exhale, bringing the hands down. We'll take the knees up towards the ceiling. With our exhale, softening the back down to the mat. Lifting the hips up off the mat, tucking them under and setting them back down. Sorry, this floor is really squeaky right here. So we've gotten rid of the space in the low back. Taking the feet up towards the ceiling. Taking the arms up as well. We'll circle the wrists and the ankles out. If you'd like, you can grab for the backs of the legs or put a bend to them. But getting some nice reverse process here. Allowing all the blood that's been out in our fingers and our toes throughout our practice to go back down to the heart so we can get refreshed. Sending new blood back to our fingers and the toes for our meditation at the end. Exhale, softening the body back down. Find our Savasana here, a corpse pose. Finding any position laying here that feels most comfortable to the body. It might be putting a pillow under the knees to help the back lay flat on the mat. It might be a butterfly. Maybe you just want to skip right over to laying on our side. But whatever feels right to you. I'll take a few moments here to focus on the breath. Taking large breaths in through the nose, feeling the chest and the abdomen fill with air, expanding with our exhales, fully releasing the breath back out, noticing how the body naturally wants to soften at the end of each exhale. And starting over with a fresh breath. Allowing the body to still. So it's only the movement of our breath we're noticing. Closing the eyes and slowing back down. Taking another large breath in through the nose. We'll release it out as a sigh. Inviting some movement into the body by wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and roll to one side. And we'll take our moment of gratitude here. Thank yourself for taking this time out of your day to refocus on what matters. Your body, your breath, and the connection that you make between them. The peace and the stillness that you can create. And the calming sensation that is there for you whenever you call it. We'll make our way up to a seat, blinking the eyes open, sitting nice and tall. We'll drop one hand down to the mat beside us, taking the other up and over the body, cartwheeling the arms, back the other side. One more of each, cartwheeling. Coming back through center, dropping the hands down in front, We'll walk them forward, finding a seated forward fold, dropping the chin to the chest. Walking the hands back in towards the body. And then we're going to switch which leg is out in front. So the leg that's tucked, take it out in front, tucking the other leg. Walking the hands out in front again, dropping the chin to the chest. And walking the hands back in again. Hands go to the knees with an inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, curling in towards center, arching back through the spine. Couple breaths like this. Inhale, lifting tall. Exhale, curling back. And back to center. We'll close the eyes one last time, taking a large breath in through the nose and releasing it out as a sigh. Thank you so very much for joining me for this class today. If this is your first class with me, I'm so glad that you made it. If you're returning, I'm so glad that you're back. It's always such a joy and an honor to get to spend this time with you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Go in love and light. Namaste.